And we'll begin with this one, as a number of radical loons, anarchists, and professional agitators continue to do everything in their power to disrupt federal law enforcement efforts in Minnesota. A shocking new report now linking several far-left organizations with funding their efforts. The report claims that right now, a loose affiliation of radical left grant foundations are spreading their cash around to various guerrilla-like groups which are operating in communities throughout our entire country. Furthermore, it says that these well-funded grant givers are part of a vague coalition of separate ICE watch organizations, which ultimately break down into a bunch of individual sleeper cell-like squads dedicated to disrupting ICE at every turn. Additionally, they say these grant foundations collect their donations through a variety of obscure and difficult-to-trace nonprofit charities that are basically pass-through funding vehicles which launder contributions from liberal, deep-pocketed mega-donors, guys like George Soros. Meanwhile, the grant money is eventually divvied up and used by activists to buy uniforms in the shape of highly visible and easily recognized vests for what one group calls their protective forces. Even more disturbingly, that same group, a squad called Defend the 612, actually operates a bit like a paramilitary organization. They brag about teaching their foot soldiers a number of precise de-arrest and evasion tactics in order to help them actively put up a fight against ICE. I say stop that. Go home, have a TV dinner, watch the roller derby, and then go to bed. Off with you. As part of their efforts, these disruptive groups actually publish guidebooks which instruct their followers how to properly and physically assault federal officers, all in order to free suspects from police custody. And so that's a real dumb strategy, dangerous too. These orders also encourage agitators to intimidate ICE agents who are in the process of making an arrest by totally surrounding them with an unruly mob and then swarming in on them until they release their suspect. Taking it a step further, the document brags that each time they physically stop an arrest from being made, they're helping to spread a micro-intifada, which can inspire others and help them eventually overthrow what they call a noxious ruling order. And basically, that's kind of a bonehead sales pitch to disguise the fact that someone is going to get hurt. You don't want to do this. Tragically, the manual also urges the group's members to follow federal officers in their vehicles, honk their horns, and cause traffic slowdowns wherever possible. Unfortunately, we all know how that can turn out. Final thought, and this is the News Roundup Lowdown, and here's how it all pans out. Until Tim Walz, Minnesota's incompetent governor, Ilhan Omar, that one, Minnesota's embarrassment of a congressperson, and that guy, Jacob Fry, the simpleton mayor of Minneapolis, till they all stand up and order everyone to stand down, then they're the ones who are in large part responsible for all this chaos. So, ICE agents are charged with a critical mission: lawfully find illegal immigrants, safely take those individuals into custody, and in time participate in the deportation process. When rogue, conflict-oriented groups get in the way, when they're encouraged by corrupt state leadership to interfere with federal law enforcement, people can and oftentimes do get hurt or even killed. For any person to enter this country without going through proper channels and waiting their turn, waiting in line, they've committed a crime and they should be held accountable. For those who are here lawfully and trying to support illegal immigrants with a bunch of your goofy protests, that's your right, but it doesn't make your actions correct. You're damaging your community. You're endangering the safety of federal law enforcement officials, and there's nothing logical or redeeming about anything you're doing or the way you're doing it. It's all pretty basic. Go home, take a bath, get a haircut, find a job, and do what you can to make some kind of a significant contribution to society. One more thing for those participating in all this madness, I say good job. And Governor Tim Walz, he just loves you to pieces, because for the past 2, maybe 3 minutes, there's been no mention of the billions of dollars worth of fraud and corruption in Minnesota. In that place, Walsneyland, they call that wagging the dog. Good job, Governor Tim.